What is up? Good morning, afternoon, evening. It has been a while, a little bit, hasn't it? Maybe a month, 5-6 weeks. Not too sure. Hey, I've been still working, hustling, bustling. It's just, I'll be honest with you, I kind of put some other things on the forefront. Some of these YouTube videos and some of the filming kind of took a step back because of that. My apologies. I'm going to get back on and putting out some more consistent content on here. My name is Baggio Saldivar. If you have not been here before, welcome to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for checking it out. And if you have, welcome back. Local Arizona Realtor here in Phoenix and the surrounding metro area. It is the end of 2024. We're coming towards it. Holidays, great times with the family, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, New Year's coming up. Happy holidays as we come to the end of 2024 and going into 2025. A lot of people right now are just kind of taking that break, taking that breather, enjoying time with the family, the friends. That's awesome, right? But if you're like me, you're also already planning ahead if you haven't already done so. I mean, some people I know, a lot of my colleagues and myself too that I talk to, kind of October, November, we're already planning for 2025. But when it comes to your personal situations, now's the time to maybe start thinking about it too. Because right after New Year's is when everybody kind of picks back up, got New Year's resolutions. You have all these different things. I want to change this, change that. Truly, by mid-February, we see what actually is true or not. Some people were like, no, we're changing today. Truth of the matter is, when it comes to buying or selling real estate, you might have already been thinking about it for a while. There's some instances where, of course, that family situation, sudden changes in life might affect you and you need to suddenly move or suddenly make a change. But more often than not, we've also already kind of had this thought in the back of our head. Maybe you told yourself in 2024 that this year was the year you were going to buy your first house, but you didn't do it. Or you said you were going to finally move and sell your home, but that didn't happen either. Anyhow, I hope that right now over this video, I give you 3 solid topics on the buying side, 3 solid topics on the selling side to give you the highest possibility to have success whether you're buying and or selling in 2025. So let's dive right into it. Let's hit the buying side first. The first thing you have to make sure if you're going to try to buy a home next year, and this is very advantageous if you're watching this right now, is get those finances in order. Generally, for the most part, you need 2 years of history, of job history, a couple months of pay stubs, but you definitely need to see a track record in the same industry. If you've switched jobs or roles, you need to have those in place, minimize debt. You need to talk with a trusted agent and lender to get that game plan forward as well. And I'm saying that it's important right now that you're watching this too, because we're coming up on tax season, of course, beginning of 2025. And if you're self-employed, you're a business owner, things of that nature, it's very critical that you properly file your taxes as well, if that's the case. I know it's tough with the holidays, and of course people are spending, buying gifts, doing all that, but make sure that if you have these goals in 25, that financially you are setting yourself up. And like I said, it's always easier if you talk to a trusted agent first that can connect you with a trusted lender, loan officer, mortgage broker, someone that can review your finances and properly tell you basically what it takes to buy certain homes at different price points. That way you can backwards plan and be like, okay, so this is what I need to show, or this is what I need to, I need to pay off the rest of this debt. Or I'm fine, and hey, I actually have more buying power than I thought. Number 2, after you kind of get those finances situated, is you want to consider the areas that you want to move in, right? And you kind of go from there too. Because after you got your finances and you kind of check your budget out and you're talking to your agent, you're talking to your lender, you can kind of go down the second step. Like, okay, in general, where do we want to live, right? So you start kind of targeting those areas, those markets, seeing what's on there, and then over time that can also just fluctuate and change your search as a whole. With that, you might also be thinking long-term, what are my long-term goals? Is this do I want to move into this and then a couple years down the road convert it into a rental property and move again? Those are things too where that can affect the type of property you're looking for, or you're maybe not as picky as if it were your forever home. And lastly, I would just say block out the noise. That's probably the third topic I want to talk about when it comes to buying. We're going to have an inauguration in January. There's already changes and shifts in each market, right? There's fear mongering on one side. There's, hey, it's perfect time to buy on the other side. When realistically, it is, I say it time and time again, it is your choice and your life and your situation that is going to dictate if you can buy in 2025. Family members, friends that buy houses in certain different states, especially, or different markets, it's just different for everybody's case, okay? Things might go more smoothly than others, might be tougher for other people. So that's why I say block out the noise when you're going to go through this home buying process, or at least even the planning phase at first, because everybody and anybody is going to have their 2 cents. And if you're like me, that gets kind of tired, right? Everyone's different, and a lot of people are good intentions, but also a lot of people want to project maybe their fears or maybe their failures on you. Look, like I said, I don't know who's talking to what, but most of the time when there's more voices, more chefs in the kitchen, it's not a good thing. So block out the noise when you're going into 2025 if you're trying to buy, because again, ultimately, you're going to know what's best for you, and you're going to know kind of what you needed to do for your situation. Now, that kind of segues right into maybe, let's just say that's the first topic as well when it comes to selling your home in 2025. Blocking out the noise, but in different ways. So, if you're trying to sell in 2025, I'll tell you this. If you've had the home for at least, 3 to 4 years or up, you probably have some great amount of equity in that home. And it can set you up very nicely for where you're trying to live at the next spot, whether it's your forever home, you're trying to downsize, upsize, family got bigger, family got smaller, you want to move to another state. You might be in a good spot to sell in 2025, because I'll tell you right now, like I said, blocking out the noise, a lot of people might say it might not be the best time to sell either. But again, it just really depends on the spot where you're at, your home itself. If you have a great product to market and a great marketing plan and a great agent, homes still sell fast. There are still homes selling fast. I just had a home I helped a buyer with. We actually got into a small bidding war, first weekend, because it was a great location, great home, priced well, and within the first week there was multiple showings, and guess what? We had to go beat out 2 other offers, right? This was right now in the last month when everything technically slowed up. So yeah, I would say block out the noise just in other factors for selling your home in 25, and talk to the right people who are in the industry right now. Second thing, and this kind of comes already with the preconceived notion that you've talked to an agent that can guide you in the proper ways. And that is, be real with yourself on what your home is worth and how your home is presented. So kind of like what I said previously, you might have some amazing amounts of equity in your home right now, but be wary that you do not overvalue your home in your head emotionally, because that can get folks in some trouble as well when you're trying to sell, and then you're wondering why it's not selling fast enough, or you're getting more negative feedback than you would expect. Look, rates are projected to come down, but they're not projected to come down swiftly. So we're not going to have like a COVID boom. So you can't just throw any home up there and expect it to sell in the first weekend for top dollar. In this coming market, we're going to see some more competition coming back up, but we still have to give a great product to the market, if that makes sense. We have to make sure things are clean, as updated as possible. Great marketing photos, video, walkthroughs, YouTube videos, ads, paid ads. We work with paid ads as well to make sure the most eyeballs are on it. There's a lot more strategy into it now. And I'll tell you what really hurts though is if there is that emotion and those ties, and I know it's difficult. I've been there before. I've sold my homes too, trying to be just keep the opinion out and try to keep more factual and more statistical based, and see what is my competition? What other homes are in the market around me? What am I going up against to try to sell my home compared to these other ones? What am I lacking? What are my strengths? Again, that comes with having a great realtor on your side as well. But that's what I would say for point 2, is be wary with what you're thinking of what your home is worth. And lastly, third point, I would say, if you're trying to sell in 2025, generally the grass is looking greener. So 2024 and 2023 were big knee jerks from previous 2 to 3 years, okay? And sellers over the last 18 months or so most of them have had some trouble because of what I've already laid out. The market really slowed up. People weren't used to that. They thought it was still the previous market. A lot of reactions and a lot of just changes, right? You had the NAR settlements. You had a lot of other things happening in the housing market. Tell you what, it was pretty tough for a lot of sellers that we know. But in 2025, there's a lot of great indicators that whether it's more balanced or more of a seller's market, there's going to be some more pros when you're trying to sell. More purchasing power should come back. The inventory is kind of catching up, toing and flowing, but in general, people kind of know now, like, hey, there's not really going to be a crash. That's another thing. People were very, very, very going into the fear mongering that there's going to be a housing market crash, bubble's going to burst, things like that. So it kept people on the sidelines. Now as time passed and there's more answers, people will now go back out there and buy too. So that's what I would say. In general, grass is going to be greener. Of course, that really depends on your area, your home, your market, but that's why you talk to a trusted agent. That's why we keep everything consistent and up to date. So yeah, it might be looking bright for you to sell your home next year. That's all I have for today. I thank you guys again for stopping by. I hope some of this helps out. I hope this kind of helps you wrap your brain around some of the things you've been hearing in the news, from friends, from family, on social media. Again, just idea and information overload. Sometimes it's just too much, right? So hopefully this kind of brings it right back to the center. You can gauge where you might be or what you have to do if you're trying to buy or sell going into next year. If you have any other questions directly to me, feel free, shoot me a text or a call at this number, or you can drop it in the comments as well. Go to my social media, follow me there, and follow along if you want to keep updated in that sense. I try dropping as much information, data, home walkthroughs as possible for you to see what's on the market. Thanks for stopping by. Live purposely, and see y'all later.